Sarah, can you remember doing competitions yourself?
No, isn't it lovely? I'm too old for that.
No, I don't believe it.
It's one of the few occasions I admit it. No, really.
Were they not part of the landscape?
No, not at all. In fact, I went straight into what's called the session singing world and did a huge variety of things, including all the Webern choral works for Boulez. But nowadays, it's essential.
Would you put it as strongly as that?
I would, absolutely. I think it's marvellous. I think the standard of singing that we have anyway, and the number of singers who come out with a very high standard, makes it very difficult to sort out the men from the boys for the people who are actually going to employ them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very good way of doing it. It's a theatre in which not only you gain a lot of experience, of course, and have to learn how to plan things and how to present them, but you also are seen and heard by not only the public and your peers, and your not only your peers but younger people coming up, but you're also seen by agents.
Yes.
And it's one of the few ways that agents can actually come and see and hear you.
Do you like to see, in a context like the Wigmore Song Competition, do you like to see very straightforward presentation, very still? How do you feel?
I certainly don't want acting. Acting is, I don't want hand gestures which are meaningless. I don't want to be distracted from the singer's interpretation of the poet's interpretation. And the hardest thing sometimes to get over to singers, even the best ones, is that they seem to think it has to be acted out to hold our attention. It doesn't at all. Of course, the most important thing about anything, be it song or opera, is the words that the composer has chosen to set. And sometimes it's the hardest thing to explain to a young singer, that the only way you can make sense of it is to read the poem first and to understand the poem. You don't have to speak the language. So you say something like, Es grünet ein Nussbaum vor dem Haus. Viel liebliche Blüten stehen dran. And I don't speak a word of German. I can't even say where's the post office. Actually, if Schubert said something about post office, I might. But unfortunately, he didn't, so I can't. But once they've learnt to equate, to express the poem, without a good accent, that's not important. But to express the poem, then you go back to the song. Don't do it first. Don't worry about the song first. Find out what the poem means. And that's what was inspiring the composer. That's what led to that song. The don'ts for me, I don't wear, dress appropriately. I do like people to dress properly. That doesn't
What is properly?
Well, but it doesn't mean to say that you have to, as a man, wear what we call a dinner jacket or tails, or so I don't know what it's called elsewhere, black tie or white tie. I don't mean that at all. But you must present yourself comfortably. That is the object of the game, is not to divert the attention of your listeners to something that is extraneous. Hence the fact that I don't like extraneous movements.
Yeah.
I mean, if there are something where you actually make, you're singing a dramatic aria and you make a gesture that's dramatic, but I can't bear right hand coming up as soon as the first note is sung. It just comes up automatically. And you think, why does somebody not say that to them?
Yeah.
Put it down. What is it up for? Ladies dress well, that's hard, really.
Very personal.
Yes, it is very personal. I personally do prefer long. For most formal competitions of this kind, I like a nice long dress, and if it's going to be long, then I'm afraid it should touch the stage. You should never see ankles. So no matter how tall you are, you look a lot worse if you're showing your ankles. I mean, it's silly, but that should be something that somebody tells them.
Yeah.
And you should just look beautiful.
Yeah.
Not overdone.
No.
Not underdone, and not overdone. And that might be a simple black trouser suit for a girl, you never know. Yeah. Or a red trouser suit. Let's be too specific.
Yeah.
My God, I wonder what they're going to wear this year. And I always say to the singer that they must learn away from the piano. They must memorise away from the... It's only by sitting. You don't have to stand and do it on pitch. You don't have to do it with full voice. But you must absorb the text and the feeling that you want to give that text entirely privately, preferably with a mirror into which you can sing and watch and express and communicate. So you can see what we see. And by doing that, by the time you get together at the beginning, say, then you go and work separately. But by the time you then come back, there will be such an ingrained feeling in the singer of how she feels comfortable that it will be much easier for you to hear what that is and respond to it, or make a suggestion which is then taken on board and causes alteration.
Do you have any words of advice for people who don't win or who are eliminated in the early rounds of a competition like this?
Well, Bryn didn't win, did he?
He didn't win in Cardiff,
No, he won the song prize, but didn't ring the big one. And look what's happened to Bryn. Didn't really hurt him. No, it didn't hurt him. No, you gain from exposure and from experience. No, you gain a tremendous amount. And you network.
Yeah.
You network. And because it's such a subjective thing, you meet people, they come round afterwards, they say, oh, we're looking for a soprano to sing in our, would you like to come and sing? Somebody likes your voice. Fantastic. You just get exposure.
Off you go.
Yeah, off you go. And I think it's very important. Winning it is lovely because it gives you a real push off, and it gives you money, which we all need and love to further our studies, or simply to go and have a wonderful time. But probably the former. But it is not by any means the be-all and end-all. And I never won anything. Did you? Did you go into competitions?
And not with huge success.
Well, it's more difficult for a pianist, is it not?
It is. It's hard.
You're sort of forced to rely on us.
Exactly. Look at that.
What a terrible thing.
What a prospect.
Yeah, what a prospect.